Did you ever caught yourself hating something in someone only to realize it's staring back at you in the mirror? What we hate in others, there is actually in us. This video started because it happened to me many times. And before I didn't understand how this principle works. And I'm going to try to give some examples. At one point in my life, I was hating a person's victim mentality. So I was just hating the way that person was speaking about herself and how always would be like, only to realize that I had the same, and I might even have it even now a bit. It's just because of my old programming. I still sometimes speak like not with enough confidence, and like I underspeak. I evaluate myself. Or like, well, I can't do that because of that, because that happened to me, or and even with this kind of tone of voice, if you get me, this, and I had it as well, and I think I still have a bit. Then another person was having this habit of giving up, but giving up of like the minute it goes slightly hard, this person will give up. He will just run away from anything, from situations, jobs, especially jobs. Anyway, from anything. When the things got a bit hard, immediately he was run away. And I was really annoyed by this because I was really annoyed by this, and I was judging, and I was like, why did he do this? Why, and things like that. The same, until I realized I do the same. But the only difference is I do it at a different level. So, when I see this person doing it at a lower level than me, I'm like, judging it, and I'm like, but maybe this lower level for him is the higher level that I do the same, if you get me. So that's what I'm saying. It's basically the same. It's projecting what I see in him is actually what's in me. What bothers me at him, it's actually what is inside me, and I'm doing the same. So I realized as well, I always run from hard situations. I always run away from relationships that couldn't be solved or worked. I always run away from the same jobs that serve me or situations, but I have a bit of higher resistance than this person that I'm telling you. But I still do the same things. I still never really try my best first, or try to solve it or go through it, or have a bit of resilience, or fight it a bit, or give or try to make it work. I'm the same. I'm like, the minute I'm off, like I'm bye-bye, I'm the same. But I'm judging it when I see it in this person. Or another thing, I was judging another person for not controlling her food intake, and this person is also a bit overweight, and I was judging, and I was like, how can this person not eat less? How can she not be careful? She knows she should not eat this kind of food, or like it's not like dieting is not that hard. She could eat that. So I'm not saying like not to eat, but eat different. Like, why are you so addicted to certain foods, or things like that? And while the same, I was not doing that, but I was doing something very similar. I was like taking so much. So like me because I'm not overweight, probably. I didn't look at myself, but I was doing the same. I always would eat until my stomach would explode. I always would eat a lot. I would eat until I'm full, and like I would eat a main, second, dessert, and some snacks over, and after 1-2 hours put something else, and I was like eating. But just because you couldn't see it on my exterior, I was never really think about it. But I was doing exactly the same, and that was causing me to be tired, to be defocused, to sleep with a big belly with a big stomach at night and not sleep well, not rest well because of that. So I was doing exactly the same thing. And the thing is the same. I couldn't stop actually. Actually, I couldn't stop until I was not feeling extra full. I needed to, and I also eat, even now I eat fast. I eat fast and a lot. And I couldn't stop until I was not feeling, I'm like full. Like I just couldn't, and it's the same thing. I was maybe eating, give you an example, 2000 calories at once, and these calories was not at least, healthy food. No, it was like whatever I had, in my fridge, whatever I felt to eat, things like that, So I realized I'm judging that person just for this thing, but I'm doing exactly the same. Maybe even worse. It's just you don't see it physically, but I'm the same affected. So again, I realized what I hate in that person, I have it as well. Or the same, I was judging a person that they play it very safe, whatever they do. Like, I don't know, like there are people that, I don't know, they would not invest, for example, I don't know, give you an example, £1,000 for a camera to start a YouTube channel, or they will buy an iPhone. They will not use it for that, or they will go in a holiday for £2,000-3,000, but they will not buy an expensive laptop that's $2,000-3,000 so they can edit on it or become video editors or marketers or freelancers. They will not. They don't feel like doing that, So I never understood this. Like how, they tell you like, oh, I would like to open a business. I would like to be that. Or the same, like because I'm with photography, I know other photographers, they have just one body and one lens or maximum 2. Me, I have about 8, and I have lights and I have everything I needed because I made it. I made it because I want it. When I really want it, and because I was thinking it's an investment, even though it was also gas. Gas, it means gear acquiring syndrome, when you buy too much gear and you don't need. But I was like, come on, these guys play it too much safe. Like me, I invest in a PC, I invest in cameras, in lenses, in a tablet to edit on it, on anything that I really wanted to evolve, and to practice and to get the experience, And there are other people like they're like, oh, I would like to open a business, or I would like to be a photographer, and you tell them, and they're like, oh yeah, but those cameras, it's expensive, it's £1,500, and I'm like, just my camera body is 2,000, and I have another lens that's 2,000, and I'm like, and it's 4,000, but I have multiple lenses, and I have things like that, and so you see people that they want to do something, but they don't understand the idea of investment. Anyway, so the same, I was judging this person that they play it too safe. I mean, if they will have maybe more money, they would probably buy what they need, or they will invest more. But I'm the same, but like the same at a different level. So the different level is, for example, sometimes I'm thinking I want to sell everything, keep maybe the main things, have a laptop and go and travel the world, like have something very portable and go travel the world. But the same, I'm afraid. I'm like, oh, why should I sell this? And am I that type of guy to go and travel the world? And I'm like, I'm still playing it safe. I'm like, oh, if I would have £20,000 saved, then I will do this. But now I have just, I don't know, an example, £6,000. So I will not do it now. So at the deeper level, it's the same problem. The same problem that the normal person doesn't want to buy a camera or a laptop or a PC, or they don't want to buy a course to change their career and make more money. It's the same with me. It's like, but just at a different level, because we are all in life probably at different level. And imagine that it's a multimillionaire at a different level, that he doesn't buy that hotel, and so on. We are all on different levels, but the problem is the same for everyone, So it's the same, like with me, judging that they play it too safe, and I'm playing it too safe as well. Like I'm sure there will probably someone be like, that they will see my situation and they'll be like, bro, just quit your job and never get a job back, and go harder on YouTube and produce 1-2 videos every day and keep going, and you will achieve what you want. This will be the guy that the same is at a different threshold, you get me? So it's like, all what we hate in others is in us. So another thing that I hated in that person, it is in me. Anyway, lesson learned. Stop judging. Stop judging. And I know I still have this problem sometimes to this day, but believe me, it's much, much smaller. I'm judging less and less every day. And sometimes I judge it automatically, I don't realize it. Or I realize after I already judge it and the thoughts is in my mind. But then I learned this new thing, what to do when you judge. They say you need basically say something like, I free you from my judgment. So whoever is this person or persons, say in your mind, I free you from my judgment. And then you can say, God bless you, or may the universe light your path, or may the universe deal with you, or God deal with you. If you do this, you're gonna see, I really feel it's working, and it makes easier, the things are getting easier for you when you do this. Because in the moment when you judge and you keep judging, it affects you, it bothers you, it annoys you, it's you can almost end up in conflict. But the moment you realize, hey, I'm judging again, and we should not be judging, especially me. I should not be judging. I did everything, in my life. I did everything, good, bad, whatever, and maybe worse than others in some cases, and I'm like, I should definitely not judge, because maybe this person I'm judging, they did less than me, if you get me. So I realized we need to stop judging, and I'm doing this more and more often. I'm like, I release you from my judgment, and God bless you. And things are better, honestly. It really clears your mind immediately. If it doesn't work, repeat it a few times. It will work, you'll see. Why it's working? It's working because our mind can't have two opposite beliefs at the same time. So our mind has either positive or negative. It can't have both in the same time. So if you're thinking now negative and judgmental, you can push it out with the positive. You repeat a few positive phrases and affirmations, and they will stay here, and this goes down. I hope it makes sense. Another thing that you need to do is self-assess yourself. Be aware of yourself. So all the time, another thing to do is when you judge someone, think about, how is this pattern in me? How is this thing in me? These things that annoys me, it must be in me as well. At what level, of what intensity, but it probably is there. So immediately ask also yourself, how am I doing this? Or sometimes you can do it, but in a slightly different way. So you might feel like, no, I'm not doing what this person does. He does that, I never do that. But maybe it's somehow related, or it's in a different way. If you ask yourself this question, you will find it in what way you are doing the same thing, or in what way what annoys you at that person is also inside you. So yeah, let's stop judging and use this mirror meaning other people, because that's what they are. Other people are actually mirrors of us. What we see in them or in the world or in our experiences is a mirror of ourself and our internal state. So let's use this mirror wisely. When we see bad in others, when we see things like that, let's ask ourselves what we are doing wrong. How is this thing also in me? How can I solve it? And I think things will get better. Or another thing, I still have these old patterns. They are diminishing, but I still have the nice guy syndrome or the victim mentality. And since I realized I have this by self-awareness, I realize I can work on it. I can speak with a bit more confidence. I can improve this situation. So after I seen it in that person that was annoying me because she was having too much victim mentality or things like that, I realized I have it as well. So I realized, okay, I need to become a bit more confident. I need to speak with more certainty. I need to, but I'm not saying this, speak with certainty and lie about something. I'm speaking here in the cases that you really know some things. You did it a few times and you could have a bit more confidence, but it's your, your way of being is like all the time. You don't want to upset anyone with your light. You're just all the time hiding, So after I realized I have value. I have what to offer. I know how to help people from my experiences. I don't mean harm, and I actually have some value. and I want to offer to other people as well and to help them. Another thing that will help is for you to be more vulnerable, but not with other people, or what I mean this is see your flaws, accept them. So when you see it in others, try to be vulnerable with yourself, because sometimes it's hard to accept you might have those flaws, or it might be in you as well, especially if you have a very good idea about yourself, especially if you feel, or especially if you have some status already in life, or in your job, or in your family, or whatever. Sometimes it will be hard for you to admit that what annoys you in others, it might be in you. So it might need a bit of vulnerability from your side to be vulnerable enough to admit to yourself that you are wrong, that you have those things, and search for them and look for them if you really have them, and admit them and work on them. This takes a bit of vulnerability from your side. So I think this will also help you. Please press the like button and subscribe. And if you ever had a moment like this, please let me know in the comments.